To me, the world begins and ends in the ocean. And while the story of my infatuation with the ocean started long before I can recall, one of its greatest points was during my time in Hawaii. During this time, my appreciation for the islands focused almost exclusively on the ocean, and I had little interest in the tropical forests that bordered its waters. It wasn't until I had left the islands that I came to realize the significance of these forests and their invaluable role in maintaining the health and beauty of ocean ecosystems. To understand the role of these forests in protecting ocean ecosystems, one must first explore the importance of diversity to the health of Hawaiian rainforests. Long before European contact, Hawaiian rainforests were abundant with an unparalleled richness of endemic bird and plant species. This was a result of the wide range of environmental conditions across the islands, with steep variations in elevation, rainfall abundances, temperature maximum and minimums, all occurring over relatively small land areas. These widely diverse forests that covered the upper regions of the islands played major roles in the cycling of water, as they captured rainwater and fog at high altitudes and funneled it down through the valleys, lower forest lands, and eventually to the ocean waters, carrying abundant nutrients on its way. As well, the highly diverse rainforests created stability within the ecosystem, allowing the forests to persist through droughts and floods alike by contributing to the resistance of the community. This is almost entirely opposite to the ecosystem of Point Pleasant Park in the early 2000s, where the lack of species diversity in the forest canopy contributed to major tree losses during Hurricane Juan, as the community of mostly uniform size, age, and species posed little resistance to the effects of wind throw during the storm. Unlike the Western settlers who colonized the islands, the significance of the upland rainforests to the water cycling processes and the ability of the islands to sustain life was never overlooked by those indigenous to the land. Native Hawaiians practiced a land management system known as ahupua'a, which began at the peaks of upland forest canopies and fanned down through their valleys to the sea. Under this system, cultivation from upland forests was highly restricted, while lower land regions were cleared and adapted to be used for agriculture. Following Western settlement, invasive plant species overtook the forests, hugely reducing native species diversity. As well, livestock such as pigs, goats, and cattle overgrazed the upland forests as they roamed freely across the islands. Today, following the near total destruction of upland forests as a result of Western colonization and the introduction of invasive species, a major threat to ocean ecosystems in Hawaii is erosion. As native plant species are driven down in numbers, the resistance of the forest community to disturbances can be expected to largely decrease. Disturbance events such as floods can increase in frequency as the forest's past capacity of funneling and filtering water through the valleys is reduced. As well, the proliferation of invasive plant species such as Miconia, which outcompete shade-intolerant species and establish shallow-reaching roots, reduce the forest's floor's resistance to landslides, which can lead to more ocean-bound soil erosion. These introductions of erosion-source soil to ocean ecosystems are major risks to coral reef health and survival as they create turbid waters that rapidly attenuate light, preventing it from ever reaching the photosynthetic organisms that maintain reef ecosystems. In going forward, it must be understood that even for people like me, whose worlds begin and end at the ocean, the protection of this beautiful part of Hawaii is intrinsically connected to the health of native Hawaiian forests. Therefore, to regain the luscious native rainforests of the past and protect the health of the oceans, significant focus should be placed on incorporating indigenous perspectives into the restoration of upland forest management systems and acknowledging that every part of the island environment is undeniably interconnected.